Hey, what's up guys? Today I want to do a video on the new Viper 6 from Ozone. I'm really excited about this wing. I think it's kind of the perfect wing for me. It's really lightweight. It's very efficient, which is really nice for the electric guys. This will give you 30% longer than kind of a wing that's comparative to it. So a lot of the paramotor wings are just not that efficient. This wing is more like a paragliding wing, but has the speed of a paramotor wing, has kind of the reflex profile. And it's just very efficient. So those longer flight times, kind of pushing it, even if you're a gas guy, if you want to spend less on fuel or just fly further for whatever reason, then you can. So super sweet. The other thing that's really nice is the lightweight fabric. This thing's got the new DN10 fabric, which is the lightest fabric Ozone's ever used on their wings. And it's got this silicone coating to make it last much longer than other similar fabrics. The downside of lightweight fabrics sometimes can be the potential durability, but this, from the test I've seen in other wings that use it, it seems to last quite a long time, which is really nice. 300 hours, no problem. The one downside, and I think it's already addressed in my mind, is the risers. I think it's a cool thing, but it's not for everybody. And that's the PK riser system. This just allows you to basically have full speed in the speed bar. I don't hook up to there that much, and when I do, it is nice for filming and stuff like that, because you don't have to get your fingers on the trims and stuff like that and pull them in and out. You can kind of match speed much easier, but it's just a little complicated. It's just a lot of little straps and ropes and pulleys and stuff like that, and in my mind, simple kind of just equals safe. Just less stuff to get tangled. And I actually have a good example of that later on, because I flew the other day and it kind of got wrapped around, and I was even talking about it then a little bit, and it's just, it's one of those things. More complicated equals potentially more problems. That's also less parts, simpler, safer, kind of in my mind. But we're gonna do a quick little flight, zero wind, which just makes the lightweight fabric perfect for this. Again, 90% of my flights, 95% of my flights are completely dead. So lightweight fabric's the way to go, and I think it's kind of the future of wings and stuff, obviously. Might as well make it easy to launch. But we're gonna do a little flight here. I'm gonna chase Shawnee around. He's got the Atom 80 SP140. We'll chase him around. I got my electric setup, new battery, and I mean, I've been getting an hour and 20 minutes on this thing easy with this new wing, which is awesome. So we're just gonna fly around, have fun, and I'll kind of talk more about the efficiency. We'll kind of test that, and on launch we'll show the lightweight fabric. And the one downside, already fixed, you can get it with the standard risers versus the PK riser system if you want. But I'll show an example of why you might want to get the standard risers. I'd probably get that if I had it to do over again. But it's whatever. Maybe I'll warm up to these. We'll see. But let's get up there. I'll try to show, I mean, this is a zero wind launch. Just kind of show how easy this wing comes up, which is nice. I mean, typically people struggle with zero wind launches and their wing coming up weird and stuff like that, but a lightweight wing like this is really, really nice. Do a little throttle up, check our prop, make sure everything's fine. No warm up needed, which is nice. All right, let's launch it. Pop that wing up. And we're off. There's a deer right there, already out. Alrighty. Pull it around here. Wiggle in, get comfortable. We'll climb up here. Wait for Shawnee to get his wing up. There he goes. And then we'll just do our little cross country. So he's taking off. Looks like a good little takeoff. I mean, the Atom 80 doesn't have a ton of power, but he's got it. So we'll just wait for him to climb up a little bit. I'll climb up a little bit too.
Beautiful. So he's probably about half trimmed right now. I got to pull a little bit of brake to slow down. I'm trimmed in all the way. We're a little bit faster. He's on a Kona 2. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about for what makes this wing so awesome is, number one, the efficiency of it. Super awesome for the electric guys, gas guys, basically anybody that does cross countries and kind of prioritizes having an efficient wing. This thing's still very sporty. It's still up there. Definitely not a beginner wing. Still very fast, but it's just super efficient. And I'll kind of show that here a little bit. So what I have is my screen here. I have an altimeter built into this hand controller, which is nice, just to show us what is needed to maintain level flight. And then I also got a more detailed view showing my battery and stuff like that from it. So right now, we're pulling about 3.6 kilowatts of power, and this is kind of the equivalent to maybe gas RPM. It's definitely more accurate, which is nice for this thing. But right now we're at a steady climb. We're going from 261 meters, 262, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9 meters, and then 3. So we're in a little bit of a climb. So what we need to do, oh geez, this guy's about, we'll wave to him. What's up, brother? That's funny. What we'll do is we'll actually just drop the throttle down a little bit. Because we're still climbing. We're still climbing. We'll just shut off the throttle here and glide down. Start running the field. But what I found for this wing, the most efficient flying and just in level cruise is 3.3 kilowatts, which is really, really efficient. For a battery of this size, this is a 4.7 kilowatt hour battery. That will give me, an hour and 20, hour and 30 minutes. Compared to, say, my free ride, 20 meter versus 21 meter, it's very similar wing size. But even though this wing, basically the same size, it's like much, much more efficient. I mean, the free ride's decently efficient, but this wing is just super efficient. It's kind of built for efficiency. And the other thing is hands off. It's just super nice. My free ride, it oscillates if you hands off too much. This is really nice. I think it's more of a docile wing in my opinion, which is what I want. I don't want to be constantly have my hands on. I want to be able to rest my hands, especially for those cross-country flights. So it's just super nice. There's kind of a misconception for wing efficiency, like how to get a more efficient wing. A lot of people think you just go bigger size-wise, and I mean that's slightly true, but what matters much more is just the design of the wing. For example, I was flying the Triox, which is a tandem wing, huge. I mean, you probably shouldn't do it. Just do it for fun in really smooth environments like this, just to see if I can launch it and stuff. It's very hard to launch. It's a 42 meter wing, and I was flying on this, and I just wanted to see kind of what efficiency levels and stuff I'd get, and I found that I got like about 3.7 kilowatt hours or kilowatts in cruise with that wing, which is, it's less efficient than the wing. It's much slower than this wing, less efficient. This wing's faster. The size there doesn't matter. So, and it matters much more the design of the wing. So a lot of people don't really realize the effect of the design of the wing on the efficiency, and I think people will notice that more and more as especially electric becomes more and more popular. It's just so efficient, so much longer flight times for the electric guys and even gas guys, and it's just nice. It's easier on your equipment. Like even with the gas motor, you're pulling less power, less heat to the motor, burning less fuel. Efficiency is just awesome, especially if it's not compromising like this. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is the PK riser system. I mentioned earlier, I mean, I like simple risers, most of the time. The PK system's really cool. It does allow you to kind of have that speed, but again, I don't even like hooking speed, and I think most paramotor pilots don't really hook speed bar up that much. It's just an extra thing, You want to get up and go fly around. I don't really care about going like max speed. I think for most people, the safer thing would be to do is just go with the standard risers. And I do have one example of this. I was flying the other day. I was like, okay, let's do a test. Trims out, efficiency, full trims out, efficiency. And I went to do my trims, and my left trim was stuck. It was wrapped around. But it's just because there's more, basically, components in the PK riser system to get caught up, and that's what it ended up being. And I checked it before takeoff. I even looked at the footage a little bit, and it wasn't like that. So just on takeoff must have come up, like, caught around it. I didn't notice it the whole flight, which is kind of funny. Which, I mean, it's not pulling funny or anything like that, but it's just like I was not able to use my trims at all. I mean, I think for most people, the standard riser system is probably the way to go. For people that kind of want to experiment, or they think they'd really like the PK system, then obviously you can do that. But it's nice that Ozone offered both of those options now, because I think they got the feedback from people saying, standard riser system's fine for me. I don't mess with speed bar that much or whatever. So that's the one downside, but it's already fixed in my mind. You have the standard riser system, which is really good. All right, we'll climb up here and chase Sean a little bit. For days like this, when it's just zero wind, landing and takeoffs with a really lightweight wing like this is just so awesome. And I'm kind of spoiled. Like, I really only fly the lightweight wings nowadays, and it's really hard to go back from them. I think the lightweight wing, the lightweight fabric is what I'd like to see a lot of wing manufacturers do. I mean, especially if it has the durability, it's just kind of a no-brainer. Like, I think Ozone should kind of do their whole lineup like that nearly. I mean, it's one thing if you're flying at the beach constantly and you always have sand and gravel beating your wing up. But I think for like most people, the lightweight wings, so nice. Makes your life easier. You're able to fly more often because you're not having problems, launching the wing. It kind of just fixes mistakes, you'd make on takeoff, where you're maybe not lined up perfectly, your wing's not set up, super great. Just little stuff that catches. Maybe a piece of grass catches your wing weird, or stick or something like that. It's just so nice to have the lightweight setup. We'll cruise these trees a little bit. I love flying on the edge of fields like this. You're safe if you have a motor out. You can always just land in the field, but you still get the fun part of like cruising over the trees. It was just a perspective you don't really get that often. And we'll probably do one more efficiency test now that we have our trims available to us today. We already know what the efficiency is trimmed in all the way, 3.3 kilowatts. So we'll do half trims and then trimmed all the way out, and just see where our cruise power is. And so we'll jump to that next. I'll turn off the GoPro, save the battery, and we'll see you guys there. All right, so now let's do a little test. We'll kind of do the trims at different levels. So right now I'm trimmed all the way in. This is my baseline. And I'll kind of also share what other wings get on their baseline too. So right now we're trimmed in all the way. We're cruising at 3.331 watts, so 3.3 kilowatts. And we're in a very slight climb. You can see here 4, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8 meter. It's about a meter every, I don't know, what is that, every 10 seconds or something like that. So a very slight climb, and we're pulling 3.3 kilowatts, so crazy efficient. A lot of my other wings you'll see 3.7, 4. Let's say the Spider, we have the Spider 2. That is not very efficient wing. A lot of people don't know. I mean, it's one of those things, it's not optimized for efficiency like this wing is. And that'll get around 4.5, 4.6. So a lot less efficient. That'll give you, 30% less flight time. What we'll do now is we'll go ahead and set our trims to about half out here. So let's give them a slight press. We're going to go to the first green bar here, and this is the thing, kind of doing trims evenly. All right, so we're at the first green bar, you know, half trimmed. A little bit faster now, so we're gonna add a little bit more throttle. Take our cruise control off. And we're just gonna wait till we see we're kind of stable. So right about 3.6. So we'll set it there, kind of let it even out, and we'll test over time here. So that seems pretty level right there. So, and we're now drawing 3.7 kilowatts of power. And that's, you know, we're half trims. And now what we can do is just trim out a little bit more. We'll go ahead and trim out all the way. So a lot faster now. We dropped a little altitude. And I'm going to go ahead and throttle up and just see where we're going to maintain level flight. So we're 4.8 right now, kilowatts of power. And we're in a slight, very slight climb. Maybe right there is actually even. Yeah, 129 meters. And we're just holding that. 128.9, 129, maybe 129.2. So maybe climbing very slightly, but we're drawing 4.9 kilowatts of power. So definitely not the most efficient. We'll go ahead and trim back all the way in. Put it back on the magnet. Take the cruise control off. And we'll see where Sean is. We probably are a little bit too fast for him here. So we'll go back over here and he'll probably meet up with us. And right now we're trimmed back in. And kind of after this flight, we've been flying for 50 minutes here. And we're just at our cruise power, so 3.4 kilowatts. We'll take it down to 3.3. So if we flew at this, the remaining of the flight, we'd fly another 32 minutes. And we're already 50 minutes, so you can see plenty of flight time. If you're really trying to get a lot of flight time and you have some experience, you know, flying already, then I think this wing would be awesome for you. Like, it's so nice. The lightweight, the super efficiency, you still have plenty of speed. It just makes it such a great, like, all-around wing. It's stable, hands-off. I don't have to constantly have my hands on the brakes. It really doesn't get much better than that. But yeah, if you got any questions about this wing, feel free to ask them. And if you're in the Ohio area, we're in Northeast Ohio, and you want to come demo it, try it out, you are more than welcome to. And we'll go ahead and see you in the next one. Peace. Sneak attack. See how long it takes to notice. Does he move? Does he move? Takes forever.